Hey y'all, conservative brother here with another daily rant, if you will. Trying to keep these videos going on a daily basis, so fingers crossed. But today's video: how to fix CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC. How to fix CNN, what I like to call controlled Negro network, Fox News, or Zionist Today, or MSNBC or MSNBS. So first of all, obviously all the hoopla going on about MSNBC changing to MSN now, and whenever that date is, I'm sure I could Google it, but who really cares? All three networks, in my opinion, are beyond saving. I just kind of wish that somehow they could just get canceled as like propaganda. But one thing we got to realize is how these networks became this way. Um, if anything, I believe it dates back to as early as the Smith-Dunn Act, I think, or Smith. It's something Smith Act. It was passed during the Obama administration, where basically, if you look it up, the Smith something Act, it basically legalizes propaganda, where you could tell half truths, partial information, and it was passed, I believe, right at the tail end of Obama's first administration, or right at the start after his second term started after his reelection. So what we're dealing with all these networks on both sides of the aisle is basically legalized propaganda. Fox News, legalized propaganda of just anything, basic conservative culture war, far right propaganda, as well as like the whole Zionist sort of just all hail Israel basically, and then CNN, the far left wokeness, covering up everything Democrats are doing and all their just the Democrat marketing arm, you know. And then Fox News, obviously, they had that lawsuit settlement with Dominion. I think there was some foolishness with the 2020 election. Give me community noted if you want. But Fox News kind of taking that settlement doesn't necessarily mean Fox News was or Dominion was it wasn't really what was going on, but it was a matter of Fox News deciding not to have to go through it all that. So here's some practical solutions I have. This probably won't be a long video. So the first solution I have to basically fix MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News is first of all we need to ban big pharma advertising. RFK has talked about this for years, especially CNN and MSNBC, especially. Their number one advertising funder is Big Pharma. All the commercials, every time there's a commercial on, nothing but this drug and that drug. And once again, that breeds a pro-vaccine, pro-big pharma population. Just condition them into that, like that's supposed to be normal. And of course, that's going to breed the views of being pro-vax and being pro military health industrial complex and all that stuff. And I'm sure there's a lot of other industries that are like on a lobbying level of advertising, you know. So I would say that. I would say also try and like figure out or investigate any ties to any Act Blue funding, any USAID or any Act Blue funding that somehow filters or finds a way to cross contaminate and fund CNN or MSNBC. That needs to be eliminated. Then my next one, actually my final one, like I said, this be a short video, and this came from Tim Pool. I would take a second to the last one. So Tim Pool talks about how bring in these independent podcasters that started from the ground up. So get rid of the Jen Psaki's, the Tiffany Crosses, all these people paying 5, 10, $20 million who are just propped up plants that don't have any following, that just basically are a talking head, and they're just from this elite pool. If you really want to earn the trust back, get these podcasters such as a Matt Kim. Of course, these are people that question the narrative too much. But I'm gonna give you guys. I gave my list on this past episode of Uncomfy Truths. I gave my list of the top 10 people to follow. So these would be people I would love to see on an MSNBC or CNN or Fox News, and then I would actually start to take the channel seriously again. So this is just my example of my top 10 list. If if Fox News, CNN, or MSNBC were to really grow a pair and have these people on their podcasts, so let's say for Fox News, Bars FM host Scott Kesterson. He currently has a show on Podbean app. Anton Daniels on Fox News. Once again, they're kind of like, pull the Pat McAfee deal. Look at what ESPN did bringing in Pat McAfee. He still has his own YouTube show, fully independent, monster ratings, and ESPN was smart. They got ahead of the curve. Why ESPN did a model that's still working. Pat McAfee at any point he might get fed up. He can always leave and go back to just doing his YouTube show. But I'm just shocked that CNN, MSNBC, Fox News not looking at what ESPN has been doing with Pat McAfee, and they don't hop on the train. So Fox News, if you're listening, Bards FM host Scott Kesterson. Fox News is looking to get maybe Anton Daniels a show. Jack Spirko, the Survival Podcast. Bevelyn Betty Williams, Andy Frisella, Real AF Podcast for Fox News. Jason Whitlock, Fearless. But that's probably Jason Whitlock was cool with Tucker Carlson, so they ain't gonna have him back on. Tucker Carlson, Jason Whitlock speak too much truth. Maybe even on MSNBC, maybe considering a Tim Pool. Tim Pool uh, gives the Democrats so much crap that probably won't happen. So either way, I'm gonna just name these names off, and I'll just say what direction or what channel might be the best fit for them. Even though most of these channels, if they really don't want to change, they won't have any of them. But if they're smart, they would just pucker up. Tim Pool, I would say for either one of those three, do Dissidents, bringing them to MSNBC or CNN. Candace Owens, Fox News. Well, that ain't gonna happen, obviously. Matt Kim, I could see him going to any one of those three networks. Ramon Jackson, Souls to the Polls. He runs the Souls to the Polls lectures at 180 Church. Jimmy Dore Comedy Show with Kurt Metzger, MSNBC, CNN. Dr. Boyce Watkins, have him on CNN and MSNBC, but even him, he got out of that club years ago because CNN didn't like how he criticized the Democrat Party. Gothics, great. It'd be great for MSNBC, CNN if they wanted to really shake it up. Tariq Nasheed, Umar Johnson, they're the two pro-black. CNN, MSNBC gonna have them on, but if they grew a pair, they'd be stupid not to. Ian Carroll, either one of those three. Sabby Sabs, a little more center left, leftist ish. Ian Carroll's a little more center. Dell Bigtree, he's big. He's big against the vaccine companies. So if y'all are still vaccines heavy, dependent, have special interests over vaccines, and yeah, you probably won't have them. And then Brother Rizla Islam, from Nation of Islam, who was heavy heavy vaccine critic, spoke out a lot about COVID lockdowns and whatnot. But I don't know if maybe Fox News will have him on. So yeah, that, and then the last thing I would say to try and fix MSNBC, encompassing all that, we have ban big pharma advertising, bring on independent podcasters to continue doing their own show, but then host an hour or two on your network. But then finally, I will adopt the long model that radio's been doing for years, C-SPAN's been doing for years, is have listener call in, viewer call in. You have these talking head plants, these Anderson Coopers, the Tiffany Crosses, the Don Lemons, the Joy Reeds, and guess what? It never works out. The ratings go down because you just think they can go on there and spew your propaganda for an hour. You know, have open, honest call in for radio that radio does, that C-SPAN does. C-SPAN even has it where it's a Republican line, a Democrat line, and an independent line. And do that on across the board. Fox News just don't have a conservative call in or Republicans. And MSNBC just don't have a Democrat call in line. All three channels have a Republican call in line if you're a Republican, a Democrat call in line if you're a Democrat, and a independent line if you're independent for all the shows on all the networks. If you really want a litmus test, because guess what? You guys are afraid of what the feedback will be. Well, that's the whole point. You got to gain trust. And part of that trust is where you can have people call in and be a voice of the people. That's what I really respect about Jason Whitlock.